Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. If you were here a few weeks ago, I made an ornament and I'm back to do a different kind of ornament. I saw these on the internet and there were many ways to make them. I kind of hybrided a bunch of them. I had a fight with my glue gun again and I burnt the tip of my finger, but I will live. I will tell you when you need to use a glue gun if you need to. Today we're making one similar to this, only we're going to be using shiny paper. And this is just an idea of what it looks like when you have multiple shinies. I don't know if you can see how shiny this is using our glimmer paper. It's really cute. This is just using plain cardstock. It's real red and basic white. I have another one. I saw a lot of these and I figured out that you have to use, right now I'm using, this is the easy way to do it, 2 3/8, our biggest punch. If you have a 3-inch punch, I use that. Excuse me. You can use your dies. You can definitely cut out circles. I wouldn't do anything with wiggly, wiggly things like, I don't know that this would work good, although it might. I haven't tried it. But anyway, they basically tied in the top and then the next one's on the bottom and then the top and the bottom. I've also seen them where they were tied in the middle and these were all spread out. I've decided that because this is so small, it's just not going to work. So we're making a plain one, if you will. If you use a bigger circle, you can experiment with putting a dab of glue or glue gun glue and just right in the center, put a little dot and then hold it. And if it's big enough, this will open up on both sides and it will be also very pretty. But we're going to make a plain one today. If you're watching me on YouTube and you want a project sheet, go to my website. It's stampmesilly.com. If you have any questions or if you don't have a demonstrator and would like a free catalog, you can email me at jandufour@yahoo.com. If you're interested in any of the products, although mostly it's paper and a punch and some ribbon, but if there's anything you want to purchase and you don't have a demonstrator, you can go to jandufour.stampinup.net. All right, business is done. Well, not quite. This is November. So the November specials, just so you know, we just dropped a whole bunch of new online exclusives. We also dropped some new kits. And then we still have a scrapbooking brochure online. Even if you don't scrapbook, I've already made cards with a couple of the sets. The paper's beautiful. There are already sayings already done. Some of them you can't use unless you're making scrapbook pages, but a lot of them you can. And they're pretty good value, so don't negate that. Go take a look and see what's out there. All right, to make one of these, you need to cut out 10 circles of one kind and 10 circles of another if you want it to be colored in 2 different ways, or in this one. This one's actually the same sheet of paper. This is the front, this is the back. Like I said, it's too small to do what I did here. I mean, it's cute, but I just think that you lose sight of all of the paper that's in there. So we're not going to do that today. I took a punch. You can use a die cut, but however you do it, you need to end up with 20 circles. Now this is DSP and it's thin, I guess. It's normal. It's like paper. It's not like cardstock. It's thinner than that. But I'm going to go ahead and start gluing this because it does need to dry a little bit. That's an advantage of the glue gun. But like I said, I wrestled with the glue gun and I lost. So we're not going back there. So basically all you're doing is putting glue. You don't want to go too close to any of the edges because, and you want to alternate, because you don't want it to come out, which it may anyway. I usually lay it down, see how off it is. Just kind of scoot it to where it's supposed to be. And I think there's a question coming. So hang on just a second. Sorry about that. We got a new cable box and my husband was telling me that after working on it for a little while, it finally works. So that's a good thing. All right, so we're alternating. That's not the solid color of gold. Let's see, for this particular one, the two that I'm using are Seasons of Elegance, which is this paper. It's very beautiful. And the other one is Textured Metallic, which is this. If you look real close, you can see a little bit of etching, like I guess I would call it. You can see they hold together pretty well. But the glue does take a little bit of time to dry, which is why I'm doing this right now, and then we'll go back to the other one. But I want to get this one clamped down, and it doesn't take forever. I've been making these in 2 sections. So I made this section, and I clamped it shut like this. And then I, started filming. And it's dry, and so after I get this one, I'll clamp it, and we'll start using a few other things to get ready, and then that'll be dry by then. Yeah, we had to change our cable box. It was an upgrade that the Spectrum did, which is awesome because we used to have really fast internet, and because they changed protocols, and you know how that stuff updates every 5 minutes. Anyway, it got really slow. But they had a new box, and they said, we're going to send you one. And it was a month later, and we weren't getting it. So my husband went down and got it. And it came with no directions, but he figured it out. He's a pretty smart cookie that way. He worked in the IT world, so that helps. Okay, so we're almost done. We're just alternating. You can see how I kind of make them fit together where I think they belong. And, if you're off a little bit, once it opens up, it doesn't really matter. Trying to make sure I put the next ones. And then I wanted to show you one other thing. When you're folding these, you're folding them with the side you want to show inside, because you're putting glue on the both sides of that. So for instance, on this one, this is a pretty side. That's the plainer side. So you want to fold it folding in. So that's a important thing. And see how off this one is? That's too off. It's hanging over on the side. I was not paying attention. I was trying to explain something to you. And you'll notice when I peel this off, it made a mess. And that's okay, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to hurt anything. As long as you don't make a hole in it when you take it apart. Our glue is pretty good stuff. Now put it where it belongs. Very good. And you can see it was almost dry. Come on now. That's because I'm filming. It wants to give me a hard time. And I had to use my stomach as a third hand. Alrighty then. All right. Then we put a gold one. You don't have to worry too much about what's the other one end and start with, because there's 10 of each and it's going to work out. As long as you alternate them like you're supposed to, it'll be fine. Just fine. All right, last one. I'm going to go ahead, make sure they're all in the right spot. You can use clothespins. Mostly I saw clothespins. I sew, so this is what I had. So I'm putting this aside. I'm going to take out this one, get a few things ready. You'll notice gold is on both sides. That one, we had the one like this, so we know that's going to be right. You're going to need some kind of hanger. So you decide how much you want to hang. Remember, or not remember, but knowing that about 1.5 inches to 2 inches are going to be inside the ornament. So when you choose the length, you'll need to keep that in mind. We'll put that off to the side. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there and put this on top. This is how I burnt my finger, because I was using the glue gun. Bad glue gun. We really don't get along. And I think it harkens back to, I'm really old, and we used to make wreaths and go to craft fair, sell them at craft fairs and stuff. I always had burnt fingers. I guess I just don't know where they should go. Anyway, that's okay. Now we're going to set that aside. That's a little hanger. Oops, it didn't hold. So we'll use a clip. It's because my fingers are also gluey. I'll try to take care of that in a second because that'll be a problem later. Okay, so I'm just holding it closed. It's going to get put inside, so it doesn't matter if it wasn't stuck together. It's just kind of easier to handle. All right, so let's get rid of some of the glue. Good job. Okay, now we also are going to need a gem for the bottom. So this is gold and silver. I had white ones out. They're not, I think I have some gold ones. Hang on. I could use those. Don't you just love having a bunch of bling? Oh, big, oh. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so this is what we're gonna use. They have some nice big ones. And it's funny because on cards I tend to use the smaller ones, so it's good that I have an opportunity to use the big ones. Okay, this is enough time for this to have glued together. Is it like as stable as it's gonna be in an hour? No, but it is stable enough to work on. So this is, oh, did I have one extra? Did I do it back? Oh, I made a boo-boo. See that? I've got two of these together. So apparently I can't talk and do this at the same time. So what that means is I'm gonna have two golds together. And for the purposes of this film, I'm okay with that. I will just make another one. This can be a sample in my house. I'm okay with it not being perfect. I wouldn't give it away. I would want it to be correct, I guess is the best word for it. So, but that's okay because you can still see what I'm doing. That's not going to fit. There's a lot. See, and this is fairly thin. The all textured gold is a little bit thicker, but it's not as thick as this was. I used regular glue, but I did use the hot glue gun for that. You see a lot of them using the glue gun. They're obviously better at it than I am. Okay, so there's a couple things you can do. You can do this now. I was tending to put them together and then shove it down the hole, which you can do, but we'll do it in an easier way. So you just need one side covered. Again, I apologize for the fact that it's not perfect. And then I'm just holding more than a couple, but that's okay. I'm just holding it here for a minute, and I didn't put the cord in. That's okay, I can shove it down the hole. So see, it's all gonna work out. I'm having an interesting day. I wouldn't say a bad day. But yeah, things have been kind of wacky. You know, things that don't normally happen. Not anything serious, just goofball stuff. You wonder what part of the universe is after me. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so now I'm just putting some glue on here since I made it harder on myself and closed it. I'm just putting a little bit of glue on both sides. I'm gonna open this up a little bit. I'm gonna end up squeezing it closed after I get this in. See, it goes right down there. It's not hard. And then I close this up. So I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna put this right in there. That's probably enough. I'll open these up a little bit more after I let that dry. Then we go down to the bottom, and a glue gun again would work really well, but I've already injured myself once, so I'm not gonna go there. So we're gonna take one of our gems, and you can just put it on the bottom. I'm gonna add a little bit of glue because this glue really is quite strong. I'm trying not to push on the gem itself because of course I've got my pick tool in there. Then you kind of want to bring this together and then kind of hold it until you get it on there, and kind of let it go and open up like it's supposed to. I'm kind of pushing on it, but not real hard because I don't want to collapse the other side. Again, I'm putting these on there close to because it helps keep all of the sections closed so that the gem has a chance. Oops, you don't knock it around. The gem has a chance to get glued. And we can go around and open all of these up in just a little bit. Now, another way you can, oops, apparently I did not let it dry enough. Here we go. It does have drying time, and I guess that's one of the reasons why you can use a glue gun, because it dries almost immediately. But I figured I didn't really want any more burnt fingers because I use my fingers a lot. So we're just going to go, oops, I'm going to go over here. What I'm trying to do is get the two sections that are closed around it together. There we go. All right. And then I would probably end up doing something like this, dropping some glue in there. And if you needed to, if the hole was too big, you can always put a gem on the top of that too. And I moved this gem around because I was fiddling with the top. There you go. Now, if you just lay it down gently, it'll be fine. And I'll clean up my mess. This really isn't something that takes very long, especially if you use the punch. Even with the die, if you're using just DSP, not cardstock, DSP, you can cut 2 at a time, which will speed it up a little bit. And then, you know, gluing, you can be sitting in front of the TV while you're doing that, and it'll go by real quickly. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please comment below and ask me that question. You can go to my blog. There's a thing that says contact me, and you can put your question in there. If you don't want to post it on social media, I understand. And then if you like my videos, please go ahead, give me a thumbs up at least. And if you'd like, you can subscribe. I post videos once a week on Wednesday, unless there's a flash sale, and then I'll just send out a little notice saying everything's on sale, or you know, free shipping, or whatever the announcement is. We're getting ready as a demonstrator. I've got 4 days, and I get to see the celebration brochure. Can't share it until sometime in December, but I get a look-see. I also get to order ahead of time. So that's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. Plus you get 20% discount. That's not a bad thing either. There is no pressure to sell. You can join for the however many months. So if you joined in November, you would have until April to sell your minimum, which is $300 every quarter. They give you the full quarter, and then whatever's in the partial quarter that you join in. But you can drop, there's no penalty, and 2 months later, if you want to join again, you can join. No problems with that. So if you're interested, you can contact me. Again, my email address is jandufour@yahoo.com. Love to see you. Bye.